Hey guys, welcome to another episode of
Boys,
Booze, and Blood. I'm Edward, known as Beloved Freak.
I'm California 13.
I'm George, Jug 16X.
I'm the Beta 00.
And we're here to celebrate
Pride Month!
and
Horror
Hunks.
Yum.
Yum.
The men.
All the
Sluts.
mats.
The beef.
Oh, we're sluts.
Slutty
Okay,
beef.
we are gay.
We're gay
And
boys.
we're
It's what
proud.
we do.
And we like
Yes.
hunks.
But I think we should cheers to Pride Month.
Cheers to
because it
Pride
is-
Month to everybody out there.
Yes,
Shots to
cheers.
Pride.
Shots
Shots
to Pride.
to
To Pride
to
Month.
Pride Month to everybody.
We're all proud
Word.
faggots here.
Proud and loves it, okay?
Vodka.
Everybody knows where the first Pride was celebrated?
No.
No, okay. The first,
New York, no?
yes,
Yes.
the first gay pride parade. People marched into New York City Central Park during the nation's first gay pride parade on June 28, 1970. The event was held on the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall riots, when members of the gay community clashed with police who had raided the Stonewall Inn in Manhattan.
You ever seen Milk?
Yes.
Yes.
I rewatched it like a week and a half
That
ago,
shot.
and yeah, it was like very Pride-esque, you know.
I mean, it was boring, but
It was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I mean, if a gay's gonna make a movie, let's not make
Well,
it.
what
that
LGBT movies do you guys like?
way. Ooh.
I mean, like it was very political, where I wanted more of the dramatic sense of it. Like I
Yeah.
wanted more of the rioting and everything.
His life opposed to like the political part of it.
Yeah. But I mean, but the political part was important because it's just he was the first gay politician, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it, but.
But that's a good
Yeah,
question.
I mean-
I really can't think of
'Cause
my favorite gay
I
movie.
we were talking earlier about Love Simon, Call Me by Your Name, and Alex Strangelove, and we're talking about coming out and being gay and proud, and how you even come out to everybody, or even come in terms with your own sexuality. So we're just talking about how important coming out is, even to yourself or to others.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is-
how about
I'm feeling
how what Pride Month, like what about Pride Month means to you? I guess would be a good question.
To me, honestly, I've been out for so long that like when Pride Month comes around, I'm like, it's just another day for me. Honestly, it's just
Like,
I'm out and proud
every day
365 days a week,
and then some.
And then
But, you know,
and at nights.
like normally I say the same thing, but this past year it changed. I got to actually do the parade because I've always watched the parade and always wanted to do it and wanted to experience it. I got to walk with my sister with her U.S. Bank company, and we got to wave a big rainbow flag.
Yeah.
And I was the one flamboyant fag who was in like booty shorts, all rainbowed out. But honestly, it was very sentimental to wave
I'm sure
the
the
flag.
energy is
The energy-
incredible. being
My
there.
favorite part was seeing the families, the kids,
Aw.
everybody in full support, and
Yeah.
the people with the signs. And one of my favorite sayings was "Raise your flag,
Yeah.
raise your
Yeah.
flag proudly." Because I had I had the flag in one hand and I was waving it, and the other hand I had it raising up, hand like high fiving everybody, telling the kids thank you for coming out. Like Pride me like look, besides the partying, the dancing, all the shit.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's like when you look at the core of actually celebrating, even if you're marching or just celebrating the parade. And I know some people don't like it. It's cliche. Once you do it, you've seen it all. But once you're in it, it's really different.
It is a good feeling because I did it once when I was 19 when I worked for Bank of America.
Oh.
And so it was my friend at the time that was working there. He's like, hey, like we couldn't like participate in the parade. Let's go do it. So we both went
wanna be in a
there.
float.
Like I mean, it wasn't a float.
No
It's like
floats.
you're walking with your company, whatever you're presenting. So I went with Bank of America, and it was just me and him. And we recognized other people we worked with or from other branches, etc. So I think like how you were saying the family factor of it, because people brought their kids. Yeah, you see
the
and it's just like,
perspectives.
and it's like the support itself is what's uplifting. Because I mean, like we turned up after, like we, even though me and him were both underage at the time, like we, he was fucking the bouncer at Mickey's. So I was like, that was a good time. But I mean, like marching in the parade is a specific kind of feeling because it's just everyone's cheering you on. because you're representing something, and it's like Bank of America. I mean, that's like a huge part, like just like U.S. Bank. It's a huge part of the mainstream world.
Like,
so it's just like showing that there is also a gay side to it. That it's a representative of that culture. It's just it's an amazing feeling.
Because like the feeling was, I know I was with the company, but when I was marching, I feel like I was marching for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You're just saying how proud you are, how much you love yourself, and how much you love the community. Besides the negatives and all that shit, like that's inevitable. But the core of it is that you think about how we've progressed.
Yeah.
Where we came from and where we are now. And I know most of you guys, especially you, since you're like around my age, when we were teenagers and younger kids, people are not out like how they are now. People are not open.
I was the only gay kid at my high school.
Same here. I was like one of 3 gay kids, and I was the weird one of all people. The other 2 try to fit in.
But you still had 2 more. I was in Mexico by myself.
But they're closeted.
Yeah.
I was the only jota that was fucking with glitter and makeup. And
I
I was a weirdo. I was a freak of my school, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I never take that for granted because that's who I was. And like I was talking to you guys about like Lil Simon and all that. That I think it's harder to be the weird one, the outcast, and try to fit in and be the normal instead of embracing your freak, your weirdness and your oddness, your oddity.
It is.
Yeah.
I definitely tried
movie,
blending.
if anything, the one gay kid in that movie that was out was very like fucking Magic Johnson's son. Like no, for real. Like that's what
very,
like,
very flamboyant.
Very
Super
flamboyant and
flamboyant.
everything, but it's just like you have to
Sassy.
give them their credit.
Yeah,
Totally.
They
It
got
takes
a lot of
balls
balls,
to
like,
do that.
and that's like a middle America town.
Of
He would have got his
course.
ass fucking
It
hung up and
takes
shit.
balls.
Like,
It's just like
It's-
come
no,
on,
it's
to
true.
be to be a trans person in the army. That takes
Oh,
balls.
totally.
To
That
go
takes
through all that,
balls.
and then to like have the president say no, they're not worth it. I was like, would you rather have Justin Bieber out there, or would you rather have Serena Williams out there? Obviously,
Fucking Serena.
Exactly.
She knows
So
aim.
that's, I'm not trying to like compare trans people to Serena, but it's like those are the kind of people that want to be out there, that are gonna
They
do
choose
their
to. They
best.
choose to be
They're
there.
gonna put their best foot forward. And this year was really, I don't know, for some reason I felt like I wanted to be at Pride this year for some reason. Every other year, I'm like, I'm so over it.
We
So
should
many
do
people,
that. You
this
should
and that.
be.
Boys with the
but
Blood Pride
I
next
was-
year.
Yeah, no, but I was looking at everybody's stories and everybody's like Instagram pictures. I was like, shit, I wish I could have gone this year. For some reason,
Yeah.
this is the first year that I
wish I
feel
went
that way.
too.
It's the first year I feel this way because
'Cause-
other years like I go and I'm excited to go, and once I'm there, I'm like, why
So-
the fuck am I here?
Fun fact for nobody who lives in here in LA.
Nobody who lives in-
nobody who lives in here in LA. Last year they took away our Pride. Our parade. I'm sorry, they took away our parade, so we did a march and we all joined together, and that was also amazing because it was like back to old school, like protest. No, I would say maybe like protesting, to so to speak.
Yeah.
It was a march. We all joined in unison and we were together, and that was amazing. And we fought to get our parade back because, again, like most people are like fuck pride, parade, whatever. You've been there, but it's sentimental to people.
It means something.
It
for
means
sure,
something.
For
It
sure.
means something. Especially for those who just came out and want to experience Pride. People from around the world come for LA Pride.
Yes.
FYI.
Yeah.
So it means something to people, and they'll fly out around the world to come see this, and they deserve to celebrate.
And it's
Pride.
always just so much fucking love energy
It
when
is.
you're there. Like it
It is.
but they did
it's
the
amazing.
march as a form of protest, which I thought was important, and it was a
It's
it was
just as
refreshing.
important, just as important
it's
as a parade.
refreshing.
FYI.
Yeah,
It was
it was
refreshing.
very. I think it was refreshing to see that because it's just like I've been at Pride twice. Like I said, it's fun. Everything. I'm okay. Like it kind of burns you out just because it's a long day, a long process.
Yeah,
but
it's a long process.
I think like that march was important just because it's like it showed unison. Kind of like in today's political climate, because like I don't like to go into politics, but it's just like
no, this is gonna be a political episode because it's Pride Month.
It's Pride.
It is.
It's
It's just-
it's inevitable.
I know it's inevitable. It's just like the march was very symbolic and important, just because there is so much opposition against not only gays, but it's a lot of people that kind of stand outside the box.
Yeah.
It's, I dare to say, it's a Trump era.
It is
Yeah.
a Trump era.
I mean-
Fuck it, let's call it what it is.
But look, this is what I gather about the Trump era. Yes, there is a lot of haters, but they're just louder. If you
Yeah.
really think about it, the good people that wants good stuff for everybody, they're more. But just the assholes are louder. It's all that's happening.
Well, they
But-
try
but
to be louder.
They try to be louder, and sometimes they are heard because of the Twitter era and stuff, and people people get
Roseanne.
into it and Roseanne and people take Twitter or Facebook too fucking serious and blow it out of proportion when in reality people that want the best for the world are more. They're just a little less loud. Just
Like-
the assholes are louder.
I think that was
Mexican accent coming out of me.
But at the same time, I think that's why it's important that this generation sees a march. They see a protest.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
On behalf of the LGBT community, that we're standing up because it wasn't always fun and games and partying and drinking and looking like sluts. Like, people struggled and went through a lot of shit to get to where we are now.
And that's why people go out as sluts, because people have a lot of people hate that. Okay, why does the gay parade have to mean that you dress up as a slut, blah blah blah? Because we fought for that.
Because we have those rights now.
We have,
I'm guilty of that.
It's not like we're running around there like year round. Like for the
But-
gay pride
but
parade,
you know
you're
what?
allowed to be as slutty as you want. Just fucking enjoy it. And the fact that so many people go to the parade
Just the freedom
means
in
that are
general.
okay
Yeah.
with it.
And I think that's important that our generation, or today's generation, I'm sorry,
Understands how we got there.
understands that and sees that it wasn't always fun and games, that it is now. And I think we owe a lot to the people who came before us.
A lot.
And especially like I even say this right now, like kids nowadays, like 13, 14-year-olds wearing the makeup and drag stuff. If people caught me at that age, they'd beat my ass down in a heartbeat. They wouldn't praise me.
No.
I wouldn't get free shit.
No.
And
Thank you, RuPaul.
we love you. But like ultimately, that's where you see where progress and change is coming from.
It
And
is.
even when we compare our generation, when we're teenagers, look at the people before that. They were even in a worse situation than we were.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And even before that, and it goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
But-
let's get to the fun stuff now.
But yeah, not to make it sad, but all I'm saying is that
Be proud and
be
out
proud,
and
out and
Love
proud.
yourselves.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Cheers to
nothing
that.
wrong with
Cheers
it.
to loving
Cheers
yourself.
to that.
Love
You will
yourself.
find your crowd, you guys.
Yeah.
Just wait.
It really does get better.
It does.
Enjoy
get
your
better.
inner
It really
freak.
do.
Enjoy it.
It really
Embrace
does.
it.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone put you down.
And
you
have
know what I mean?
fun.
Ultimately.
Lots of fun.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Create your own family.
Be safe.
Also.
That's why it's fun to go into the horror realm of like just being gay and loving horror. That's like another outlet.
A total different.
It's
like,
totally.
Yeah.
You know, because you can enjoy the same things. It's like, okay, maybe regular stream of gays is like, who do you think is hot in general movies? We have our horror hunks.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Our
do.
sexy men.
Yum.
We might even think our slashers are hot.
Mm.
I'm saying maybe Freddy Krueger before being burned was kind of daddy as fuck. I'm just saying, it's true.
Before the raping, everything was fine.
George,
Okay, never mind, I retract.
you really just like a crispy dick to fuck you.
Oh my god, that's nasty. But
One zombie Jason.
Or a zombie Jason.
A little zombie Jason inside him.
Little wrinkly worm.
Oh, yeah.
we've seen those pictures where it's like the what was it, the hunk calendars.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are
you
great.
saw Jason coming out of the lake and everything.
Or Ghostface with his like ripped muscles and just ready to stab
Imagine.
you. And I'm just like, stab me.
bulge.
So why do we love horror hunks? What is
Define a
what is
horror
the
hunk.
Besides
appeal?
eye candy.
I mean, eye candy is one word. I feel like every horror movie has to have that one attractive guy who ultimately you can't stand and can't wait for him to die, but then you root for him at the same time because he's a sexy guy. I don't know. I feel like that's my definition. of
Sometimes
a
he's
horror
the
hunk.
final boy.
Sometimes.
He
Yes.
could be the final boy. He could. I think in my situation why I like the hunks is that it intrigues you. You're watching most horror movies are more machismo kind of thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So when you see a guy take charge, take lead, you're kind of like, ooh, this is sexy. This is hot. Like I like this guy. And like growing up, it was like, it kind of like brings out your sexuality a little bit more too.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Who
So
brought out your sexuality?
that's so many. Growing up, like Friday 13 Part 7 was one of them. Bruce Campbell from the Evil Dead movies. I always thought he was hot.
He's daddy. I'm sorry.
He's
that is daddy.
daddy. I'm sorry.
Hunk right there.
Say what you want.
Even
but
in Ash vs.
fuck.
Evil Dead.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
Fuck with
totally.
her.
Oh, totally. But yeah, like that's my main one. Like a lot of '80s guys. I love '70s and '80s with the mustache and the the facial hair,
Short
the chest hair, short
Sleepaway
shorts,
Camp.
Sleepaway
Sleepaway
Camp.
Camp.
Oh,
All the Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th.
Mhm.
Hands down.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
What's his face? Kurt Russell in The Thing with his long hair, and I'm just
Oh, Daddy,
okay,
with those
I'm
blue
feeling
eyes.
this. With his jaws,
Full
yeah.
with ice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sexy man.
Feeling the fantasy there.
I don't know.
I
I would say,
transported.
like a good like horror hunk that's also like a slasher was Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Just because it's just you saw his ass too. Like
I haven't seen that.
He was
You haven't seen,
attractive.
like, he was
really-
attractive.
He was
He was really cute.
It was just
But-
like
Yeah.
he kept saying punish. I was like, oh, punish.
Yes, punish
Punish.
me.
Okay.
Maybe that. Freddy would be great for you. He'd
Ooh.
punish you.
Yeah.
Who's Freddy?
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was like, you trying to set him up already? Okay.
Please
Freddy.
finger him?
Just, yes. With his finger knives.
Punish.
Mm.
Definitely. I don't know. I mean,
Why when he got Jason with a big old thing?
Yeah. That's awesome.
We're going to the screening tomorrow.
oh,
I'm
that's
excited.
fun. I don't know if any of you are
Going.
go or
They're not gonna know.
They're probably
They're
not
gonna
gonna
know
hear
by
it.
the time it comes
it's
out.
already passed, but
Do we know
it's
who's
gonna be
going
lit.
besides you, me?
Nobody.
Last
Nobody
time we saw
important.
Brad.
Is
going.
Is Josh? Is Josh going?
Nobody important.
Josh is going.
Bert.
Wow.
Bert's gonna go.
Bert's
Oh, Bert's
going.
gonna
We love you, Bert.
Love you, Bert.
Love you, Bert. Mr. Bert.
You know who was the first horror hunk I got into?
Who?
Hmm.
Tell us.
Josh Hartnett.
Yes.
H2O. That was late.
The
but-
faculty?
okay, I
Oh.
was born in 91, late 91
Ah,
at that,
she's
so
the
that's
baby.
The
why.
90s babies.
Yeah.
Oh, they're 90s babies. We're the 80s babies.
You're the
90s babies
90s.
too,
I'm the
bitch.
90s.
Come
I
on,
know.
that's like, I remember I rented that from Blockbuster, and I was just like, Josh Hartnett.
That's the only
was
reason why you
cute.
got it.
H2O.
H2O.
When
And
he
then,
had a little
and then once
mo
I
on
saw,
his-
and then once I saw Faculty, I was like, even better. Like,
He had the bad boy thing.
So wait,
That's what it
H2O was first, right? Okay.
Yeah.
H2O.
Because that's introducing Josh Hartnett.
He
yeah.
reminds me of like Skeet Ulrich of the late 90s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because he was very bad boy, very messy, very grungy.
Mhm.
To sort of
Yeah. But like still very handsome and
Such a cutie.
mysterious in certain
Jawbones
It's
for
his eyes.
days.
His eyes I love.
Mm.
Cheekbones
Yeah.
for days.
those
Oh.
brown eyes.
But like going through the decades, I noticed like the change of the hunks. Like
Yeah.
like the 70s was the porn stars looking ones. The 80s was like the
John Travolta.
oh yeah oh
I
and Carrie.
I was thinking about that. Why does it in the 80s was okay for everybody to wear short shorts and crop tops and shit, and now if someone wears that today, it's like
They're coming back,
faggot.
sort
They're
of.
faggot.
Like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Oh, I can answer that. Or
Tell
partially
us.
why? Because I don't think a lot of people in the 80s, it was the whole big sex thing in films and everything. It was being exploited a little bit more. But what cut it off, I think, was the AIDS scare kind of thing with the gays, homosexuality and all that stuff. So that's why in the 90s, not many people would do that anymore. I think, in my opinion,
I mean,
that could be possibly.
How do
it
you
was a scare. It
relate?
was a
How
scare
do
kind
you
of thing.
relate crop tops and shorts to AIDS?
Well, that's fashion. First
Well,
of
maybe
all.
because of the time it was in. Because look, okay, like I'm watching Pose, which is a great show. If you guys
Oh,
have never
amazing
seen it.
Oh, yes.
show! Everybody
Now,
watch
in that show, like everybody fucking.
Wait,
wore
hold
crop
on.
tops.
This is how you introduce gay culture to America. A show like Pose, which is heartfelt and funny, and it has, like, it's well-rounded all around.
Mhm.
Like,
What was that
I
about?
feel like
I
it's
never
more
seen it.
of
What was that
a-
about?
Oh, it's a new show. It's like
You ever
Paris
seen
is
Paris
Burning,
is Burning?
Okay.
But
Okay,
the TV
but
show.
a TV show. Paris
What
is
is
Burning.
this on?
FX.
I don't have that.
Oh, nigga.
Hulu? Is it on
You
I don't know
need
her.
to
Netflix?
watch
Yeah,
it.
you need to like download
Gay
it.
culture down to a T.
It
It's
probably will be
fun.
on
I feel
Hulu.
like it's more
Okay.
of a not even. I don't get a drag queen vibe off it.
It's
'Cause
not a drag queen. It's a
everyone's trans in
trans.
that
It's
show.
trans.
It's a trans
It's
thing,
gay
but-
culture in the.
But regardless, it's gay culture.
It's LGBT.
It's LGBT.
yes.
It's the people that paved the way for
Mhm.
other kind of gay
But because
people.
of that show, because it's like AIDS era,
Mhm.
maybe he has a point where it's
Yeah.
just that crop top and everything.
But
That's
that,
like
I don't
people weren't
relate
scared.
it. I
No,
do
no.
not relate it because if the AIDS scare was all gay related, it doesn't make sense because all the straight guys were wearing the crop top.
True,
and
because I
shorts.
have
So
pictures,
it-
like my
no.
uncles, like they showed me their family photos. and-
All my uncles and cousins had those things.
Crop
Well,
tops,
it's because
tube
it was
socks.
the norm, but once like like gay became more in the forefront, that I think people became more like for a better word, intimidated. They got scared of it or frightened or whatever.
Yeah.
But people were, I think, were more open to sexuality. Because even look at horror movies back in the days, a lot of nudity and sexuality was more out there than it is nowadays. It's
Yeah.
not as censored.
Yeah.
And I think since everything became more in the forefront, that's where times has changed.
Yeah.
Right.
It might be
I
just
think
the eras changing, like
Yeah.
going from the 80s to the 90s, where everybody was wearing the grungy clothes and the oversized fucking pants.
Nirvana
It's
did
just
it.
a fashion
It's not
change.
Nirvana's fault.
But it's
Maybe
just,
I would say it's fashion change.
the fashion
It could-
culture
yeah.
was shocking. It's like you go from wearing crop tops and short shorts to wearing like
That's kinda
baggy
why I like-
pants
But-
and flannels.
Yeah.
But think about how flamboyant the 80s were and how masculine the 90s were. Like,
Yeah, I think they
grunge,
got
hip-hop.
scared into wearing
Fuck that! I'm not gonna show my
bigger
midriff.
stuff. Yeah, you're right. They're gonna think I'm
This is
gay.
queer.
They're gonna think I have AIDS now.
Yeah.
to sort of speak.
Yeah.
Okay, I
The
get it.
Sleepaway
I get it
Camp
like
was
It was out
gold
there.
for outfits, like
Come on.
crop tops, short
Bulges.
shorts.
Even
And it-
that. You
To
guys,
me, that-
would
that
you
got my
guys
heart
judge
rate
me if I wear a
Oh,
crop
yeah.
top to Halloween?
No.
I want to.
I'll
No,
let you borrow one of mine.
it's a great
I
throwback.
wear my
to-
Madonna crop top.
I would have done a crop top, but I already had the short
But
shorts.
you
and
did
two
not have the
socks.
belly that I have, so fuck off.
Yes, I did. That night I was bloated as fuck.
Oh, you have. You and I have the same belly. Okay.
Belly and
fine.
bloated is not the same. The same. You're just gassy, bitch.
I digress.
So who did we talk about? Who our favorite horror hunks were?
Well,
You
mine was
mentioned
Josh
yours.
Hartnett.
Well, I
You
mentioned
mentioned
what-
yours.
No, I don't
No,
think- I don't-
well,
I
we
can't
mentioned
think
we
of
were our
one.
first ones, like when
Oh,
we were
okay.
growing up.
What's your favorite
but What
one?
about yours?
You don't have a favorite?
Well, what's yours?
Honestly,
Mine
Yeah,
is
tell me.
Ryan Reynolds
Oh.
and Amityville Horror.
Girl, bye.
No, his
I agree.
sweaty,
Agreed.
nasty,
Kidding.
Hell yes.
sexy body just fucking cutting that wood, and you're just watching him chop it, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
6
oh my
packs for
god.
days.
I'm sorry,
Oh
my
my
young
God.
self was so turned on by Ryan Reynolds.
So
turned
turned
on.
on.
Not even just by Amityville Horror, because I did see
Blade
that.
3.
I snuck in.
Oh,
Blade
Blade
3.
3.
Blade Trinity.
That's
Okay, when he
That
showed
was-
when he
yeah.
showed his tattoo, I was like, oh,
Not just the body, the
when he was
beard,
when he was tied
sweaty, tied
up.
up.
oh.
But okay, this is what I'm missing from Ryan Reynolds: the bulge.
Oh yeah.
Where was
Where's
He
the
the
bulge?
don't
Where's
need
the
no
bulge?
bulge.
Yes, he does.
He don't need no bulge.
A 6-pack did not equal a bulge.
I don't give a. I'm not a size queen, so I don't
Okay,
give a
okay. Everybody's
Size
different.
queens.
You're right. You're right. No. I'm not even a size. I
It's not a size.
I want to see something in those
More.
tight pajamas.
He
You know
tucked
what I
it
mean?
back.
Ooh, how
Wait,
sexy.
he was cold. He
It was cold. It was cold.
Yeah,
okay.
it was cold.
Points. Points for being cold.
So he's in there.
Oh yeah, it's like a turtle. When I'm cold, I'm just like
It
a
just
turtle.
sucked up.
But he was just the right amount of hairy. His abs and his V cut just going
Just
cutting
down.
that wood
Oh,
angle.
Jesus.
Ugh.
I don't have one, but if I had to choose, like with a gun in my head right now, I'm thinking Ryan Phillippe, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The towel.
He had a
The
nice butt.
towel. The towel, and then you connect that to Cruel Intentions.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's like you get a 2 for 1. So
Mm.
Ryan Phillippe.
Ryan Phillippe.
I think my heart crush
Felipe.
was
Felipe.
Skeet Ulrich from
Full
The Craft.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
From
I
The
don't- I always
Craft.
had, yeah,
From The
Skeet
Craft,
Ulrich from The
not from
Craft.
Scream.
When he's like a
Oh,
little
yeah.
puppy boy.
Oh,
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
cuter in Scream.
He's
hot in
sexy
Scream.
in
He's
Scream.
sexy. He's the
in
longer
Scream.
hair though. That's
yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's
But-
just the attitude too.
I don't know. I just loved him in The Craft. I don't
He
know.
was so
He did look
submissive.
really
Okay,
He was submissive.
I got you.
I like that control.
What about you?
I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds just because I remember when I snuck into the theater to watch it, and like it's just that where he makes his kid like hold the log. He's like, hold it down, and he's gonna cut it. I was like, oh shit.
But okay,
Like-
the lock.
Well, the log, because it's just like he's like, hold that log. He's like, don't move. And then he's just cutting it, and it's just ripped as fuck. And like I said, Blade Trinity, I was young when that movie came out, and even the trailer.
trailer.
It's just the trailer. Just him, he's like, well, guess what? I'm one of them. And he just lifts up, and you see it? No, you
And
see
you see him tied down.
We're watching the trailer when we're recording.
Oh my god.
You see his V line where the tattoo is? That fucking got my heart rate
But
up,
he's
and I was
all
just
sweaty while it
I
happens.
was like, I'm like,
Okay,
Game
no,
Boy.
I know it's off topic,
I'm getting
but
hot right
just
now.
out of George's answer, whatever. What was the first movie you snuck into?
First movie?
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's a good one.
You just said okay.
No, because that wasn't the first
That we
one.
snuck in?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. They let me watch
Okay,
horror movies since I was little.
I was supposed to. I bought tickets to watch Miss Congeniality, but I snuck in to watch Idle Hands because it was rated R.
Oh, like that. Okay, I know which one I did.
Yeah.
I bought tickets to go see Joshua Jackson's movie, Skull something.
Oh, the skulls.
The
The
Skulls.
Skulls. Yes, okay. I don't know what the fuck. It was for the Skulls because they're giving me a hard time to buy a ticket because rated R. I wanted to go see Final Destination.
Nice.
So they
Nice.
said no because they're underage, and I'm like, theater usually doesn't you watch movies. Don't make
Yeah.
my mom come all the way here and bitch you out.
Yeah.
So instead of arguing and fighting, I said, just give me one for the skulls.
Mm-hmm.
And I snuck in to go see Final Destination, and I
Nice.
fucking love that movie.
I have a second one.
Hmm.
I got a ticket to watch Never Been Kissed, and then I saw Never Been Kissed, and then I snuck into The Haunting.
Nice.
Oh, I love that movie.
I used to go to the cheap theater in Northridge to do that.
The
Like my
oh.
parents would do
That's
that all the
Northridge.
time. I was down with it. My sister would cry because she'd be like, "We're gonna get caught," and I'm just like,
I never
"Yeah."
got caught.
We saw like 2-3
That shit
movies a
was
day.
out.
That was a great time.
The first movie I remember like legit sneaking in was Jason X.
Ooh.
But then I didn't stay to see the entire thing because I got kicked out. But I Saw 3 was I think the first horror movie where I bought another ticket for another movie and then went in and saw.
You
Saw
were
3.
old by then.
Come
for
on.
Saw 3.
Yes.
I was still underage for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He just made us old.
I was still.
Because if I tell you
underage.
mine, you're gonna be
I was
like,
in college.
oh my God.
We were in college. They were in high
Dude,
school.
fuck
That's
Let's
why.
see when look up
Fuck
when Saw
that.
3 came out.
The one
I
I
forgot.
remember sneaking into, the first one, House of Wax.
Nice.
Yeah,
We
House
saw
of
that
Wax.
That's
today.
good.
We saw that
Bitch,
shit.
Saw
House
3
of
came
Wax.
out in
That was the-
2006.
Fuck
It's on
off.
the 6th.
That I
I was
remember.
graduating
that was the
high
first
school.
one.
I was in college. I was in my second year
I
of
was
college.
graduating high school.
I was just in sophomore year of high school, I think, maybe.
And why do you look older than me?
Shade has been thrown.
Bitch.
The tequila's talking now.
The shade. Oh, tequila.
Get the
tequila. goes out.
We're doing shots.
I
again?
moisturize.
I will. Shots at
Shots.
No! I regretted it.
Shots to that.
I regretted instantly. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Cheers.
You didn't take one.
No.
Tequila George did.
I will not cheers to me being a bitch.
Tequila
like
Beto.
that.
Wait, what was I talking
I'm
about?
so sorry. I'm
Sorry,
so
back
sorry.
to
House
original.
of Wax.
No, I was talking about Ryan
That's what you were
Reynolds
talking about, bitch.
lifting up his shirt and you
Oh,
see his
yeah.
V line. So that
Yeah.
got my little gay boy heart
Mhm,
going. But I would say
mhm.
favorite horror hunk would besides him, I would say Jared Padalecki.
Before that was
Oh my
Jared.
god.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like we saw House of Wax. He's cute. He's 6'4". I didn't know he was 6'4" at the time, but like Friday 13th is just like he's like the goody guy, and like I've never seen any Supernatural. I just see
I will
reruns
climb in
sometimes,
like a tree.
Super
Exactly, climb that motherfucker like a tree. It's just nice.
He probably
Okay,
fucked the
fine.
shit out of you too.
Oh, fuck yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I just realized something.
Ooh.
So, and I was
Big
thinking of like, I was looking at my phone right now, and I just thought about like 90s stuff. My actual first crush was David from The Lost Boys. Cause I love guys with the mohawks and like the bad boys. And then I thought about Interview the Vampire with Brad Pitt. I think.
Sexy.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Vampires.
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. I
And Tom
enjoy
Cruise,
Tom Cruise
and
in
Antonio
it.
Banderas,
Antonio.
Keanu Reeves. Oh,
That was
movie.
just like a
Keanu.
gay wet dream.
Keanu was in that movie.
Keanu was not in Interview with the Vampire. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he
Oh
was.
wow, that you're checking people too. Damn.
that was a check. That was a mistake.
Okay. That's right. I like because Winona Ryder was in that. That's
Yes.
right. Yes.
Yeah,
Woo!
Winona was in.
But yes,
Dracula.
I like gay movies like that have a hint of like sexuality, like Interview with the Vampire, The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they have like
Yes.
those sexual undertones that it's so
and
like
see, and
I
they
think that's
they
so
have
sexy.
The Covenant on Netflix, and it's on my list, but I haven't seen it
Covenant.
yet.
Covenant is
You haven't
Here-
seen The Covenant?
I haven't seen it. It's
We
on
need
my
to watch
list.
it. We need to watch it
Oh,
together.
we're watching it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the new season? That
What?
The new season supposedly is to be
No,
Murder House-
not American Horror Story.
Oh.
I'm talking about
Covenant.
the
Covenant.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was cheesy.
I had it.
I hear
hard.
it's like a gay like undertone.
They're
like,
hot, but they're
It's very
horrible.
David DeCoteau. like
What's his
that
face?
kind of
Winter
shit.
Soldier's in it.
Yeah, Sebastian
Sebastian Stan.
Next
Oh.
week I'll bring it in.
He's the best part of it.
He's sexy.
I'll
as
bring it next
fuck
week you
in
can watch
that.
it.
Okay.
I'll tell
totally
you,
will.
the one crush I always regretted having was
Regretted?
Jesse Eisenberg in the Cursed movie.
Ew,
Because
girl.
when he was like no when he was naked and he was climbing the thing, I'm just like I'm
Yeah,
feeling
the
it,
thing, yeah.
and then now I'm just like, oh my god, what did I fucking
No,
what
my-
did I
you
think?
regretted it.
in that
Okay.
movie, Milo
Milo.
Ventimiglia
Mhm.
plays.
He's sexy.
As opposed to Jared Padalecki, which are both in Gilmore Girls. But like Milo's better.
Do you guys have any regrets? Anybody that you regretted?
Anybody that I regret
Any that you've regretted
liking.
liking or having a crush on?
Fuck. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Shit, what about
I really need to think about it. We don't have time. Let's go back to okay.
We'll come
ask
back-
another question.
we'll come
and
back
I'll
to
think
that
about
one.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Too hot to die. Who are the bad boys or the horror hunks who are too hot to die, but they still end up dying?
Jerry Padalecki, House of Wax.
Wheelchair guy from Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Too hot to die.
Travis Van Winkle in Friday the 13th remake.
I mean, he's too hot, but he was an asshole.
He was an
hot,
asshole.
though.
No,
He was hot.
he's hot when he
hot.
was in the movie. In the movie, he wasn't that cute, but in real life, he was hot.
Yeah, I'd have him tie me down and like be like, your
For sure.
ass is stupendous.
And I heard he's super nice too.
Yeah.
I heard he was super nice.
Chris Hemsworth and Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Williams and Kevin in the Woods.
Oh.
That too.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a lot of good ones.
Even the stoner guy was hot. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, he was my crush for a bit, like, cause he was in. Cause I saw, I liked when Joss Whedon did Dollhouse, so
Yes,
that's when I got
he
into
was in
him.
Dollhouse, of course.
Like he was my crush.
Yes,
for a bit.
like
yes.
that? Wow,
No,
okay.
he looks dorky, but he's ripped as fuck.
Oh,
like,
yes, he
I
is.
googled images.
I bet you did.
No, that motherfucker's ripped, like, and he just has a dorky look.
Yes,
But to me that's perfect.
I love a
That's
hot
like
dork.
that's Bay right there.
A hot
like,
dork is cool.
dorky. And,
I love dorky. I
Woo.
love my nerds.
Love our nerds. Who would you fuck?
Actually, he's my favorite
All
horror.
of them.
Fuck
Who
that.
would you fuck?
Frank
Chris
Kranz.
Hemsworth.
Chris
Sorry,
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Jesse Williams.
Fucking.
Ryan Phillippe. List goes on in a Milo Mintovich.
Paul Walker and
Paul
Joyride.
Paul Walker. Joyride.
And Steve's
Oh.
on.
And Steve's on.
Yeah, and
Those
Steve's on.
butts
Double
are-
feature.
those butts
That-
are
Their
nice.
ass was nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I had to choose between Steve and Paul.
Paul,
for
obviously.
sure.
Because he's taller.
But as
Yeah.
a gay boy, I'm just
But
like,
Steve's
oh my
on, it's
god.
like,
Steve's
Yeah.
on.
Shit.
He plays a nerd. He plays mostly nerdy guys, and
He's
that's
a nerd.
sexy. I love that.
But I like you keep.
Paul Walker
I
has a
don't
body.
remember a lot of hot guys in horror. Like, of course, there's like the random ass characters in Friday the 13th that not even on screen for 15 minutes. But then if I have to like break it down and be like, oh, my favorite horror hunk, like, can't really think about it.
Interesting.
Well, we're talking about who would you fuck, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I
Frank
still-
Kranz and Cabin in the Woods, I would fuck.
Who? Friends
The stoner. I'm sorry,
I
that
mean,
brought me back. I was like,
oh,
oh
yeah.
hell yeah.
Chris and
Tie my
Jesse.
hair back down.
Chris
Cool.
and Jesse too.
That's funny.
Come on, it's
They're all
Thor.
sexy. I
That's
fuck
of
all- I fuck all of them.
Which horror killer would you fuck then? Who was your pick?
Billy and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Really?
Ah,
Yeah.
That's
a
your
good
slasher?
one.
Well, yeah, you saw his ass. No, wait, was it his ass that you saw?
Yeah, you do see his
In
ass.
the
You
dream
do-
sequence,
yeah,
you see his
yeah,
ass.
you do
yeah,
see his butt.
Mm-hmm. He's all strong in the toy store. He's like, I can carry boxes and shit. I'm like, oh, you can
I'm
carry
gonna
boxes. I get
say
it.
Angel when he's Angelus in Buffy. Because he wears leather pants.
I'm
That's
gonna go with Pinhead because he's kinky as fuck.
Yeah.
Ew. But he's not cute.
But he likes whips and chains. That's all I need to know.
I need a cute face before I need anything else.
I think Michael would be mine. No,
Okay.
Ghostface. Ghostface. I have to
Yeah.
say Ghostface.
Unless
You
it's-
want Mrs. Loomis.
or Jill.
Or Jill.
I'll take Jill. I'll take Jill. She's
He'll be
the
like-
one-
No,
Lesbian.
which
He'll be
Ghostface?
No, you gotta say
Roman.
Roman.
yes!
Good
Roman
answer.
Ghostface.
He's underrated. as a
Billy.
killer.
Yes,
So I think
Billy
Yes.
and Roman.
Yes,
Billy
he
and
is.
Roman.
I take Roman over Billy.
No, I'd go with
I'm not gonna argue.
Mickey and Roman.
Oh,
Mickey.
Oh hell yeah, Mickey.
He's
Mickey.
hot.
I'm
Pride.
sorry,
No.
Timothy
Oh,
Olyphant.
we're talking
my
about
God.
Pride. Please, everybody gay that's watching, watch
Listening.
Breakfast, listening and watching the Broken Hearts Club.
Oh,
It's-
yes.
it's
The
a
Broken
gay
Hearts
movie.
Club.
Oh, Timothy
It has
Olyphant's
Timothy
in it?
Olyphant
Yeah.
in it,
Okay.
and it's like the gay Sex in the City, but
Oh,
Like,
I'm totally down
It's
for that.
really, really good movie.
It's a really good movie.
You'll
Even
love
in-
it.
What's it
It's-
on? If you guys, I'm asking.
it's on Tabby.
I think you can find it
Or
anywhere,
Vudu.
honestly. You look on Amazon if you have Amazon.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
for free, it's on Voodoo.
The Broken
Okay.
Hearts Club is such a good movie.
For free?
Yeah.
Such
so
a good movie.
free.
please, everybody, watch it. I want to watch it with you guys, actually.
Yeah.
'cause
Have
it's
you guys
really
ever
good.
seen Strangers by the Lake?
No, I heard about
it's
that
a
one.
really good gay thriller.
Thriller.
It's about guys hooking up on the lake,
French,
and then
right?
Okay.
yes, and then there's someone killing them and shit like that. It's fucked up. It's so
Ooh.
good.
We're on topic. Is there any other gay movies you guys recommend watching? Because
Gay horror movies
or just in gay movies, LGBT, Pride,
Yeah.
Gay Simon and Love.
Like,
Alex
cause one of
Strangelove.
like I don't know if you guys seen it, but one of the ones I watched as a kid, and it was still important to my life, was Boys Don't Cry with Hilary Swank.
I've
That's a
seen
good
that
one.
movie for
Yeah,
sure.
in a long time.
So it's sad, but you know what? I think it's a very important movie to watch.
I think everybody should watch Willow.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a movie called Downfall. I think it's
Uh-huh.
a German film. It's about two guys who they're both. Like,
it has the guy
straight.
from Sense8 in it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It's really, really, really
Like
good.
I am so picky with gay movies because I cannot relate to any of them.
Yeah,
All the gay
you know what?
movies-
I don't like
But
gay
you know
movies,
what?
to be
I
honest.
don't relate to them. Like all the
Exactly.
characters, like Looking. Have you guys watched that show?
oh,
Looking?
guess horror. I don't know.
I cannot relate to any character on that show. I cannot
That's
relate to
good.
any character on Queer as Folk. I like the show.
I disagree.
I disagree as for it.
I like Michael.
Yeah.
For
No,
my-
no,
Okay, for you
Chris
guys-
Folk, I couldn't relate to in whatsoever. I'm sorry, that
Looking,
show was just too
Bathhouses
serious.
and Coke. Yeah, no.
So you
No,
mean
no, no,
like-
no.
loved Queer as Folk.
Queer as
I
Folk
love
was
Queer as Folk too a lot.
My
but I
fault-
cannot relate to any.
no,
character.
it was
get
too
it.
Even
stereotypical. Looking, I felt more refreshing because it was just more updated, modern. I related more to what was the main character's name?
I don't know, but
The game developer. I related more to him.
Jonathan Groff. Yeah.
Yeah, I just that's the only character I relate to. I don't
You're
really
picky.
tend
You're
to-
picky, bitchy like
No,
that.
no,
yes.
picky, bitchy. No, not tampoco.
I'm
Like,
answering
nah.
for you.
No, not even the pickiness. It's just like the awkwardness is what I liked.
I think he's
Like,
picky.
He's picky too. That's the same thing. But it's like I like the awkwardness of it, just because it's like that's kind of how you feel when you navigate when you're friends. Like his friend was like daddy status, fucking everybody every day.
Yeah.
His other friend was booed up, like doing his nasty thing, and he was just like there. He's like, I have a job,
Yeah.
like doing it. It's kind of
That's
like
it.
what Issa Rae would be doing in the
But
gay
still,
world.
I don't agree with like people being that insecure.
Yeah.
And at the same time being so picky. It's like choose a side.
Exactly.
You
So
cannot
that
be
was his
both.
one flaw.
Yeah.
That was his one flaw. But
But
still
I
related
cannot
to it.
relate to any, even the fat guy, like the Mean Girls guy,
Yeah.
Danny's whatever.
Oh no, not even.
I cannot relate
No.
to any of that shit. Like all you guys are stupid and
But I
boring.
have that way with a lot of gay movies. That's why I can't watch them.
Yeah, I
You know what?
me
I don't
too.
like them.
But they come in different
Me too.
forms too. Like, but I'm a cheerleader. I do LGBT.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
I even consider Rocky Horror.
Of course,
freaking,
they're trans.
What was it? Hedwig.
Okay.
Oh,
Hedwig
yeah.
is one of them.
Hedwig
Great.
is great.
You know what I mean? It comes in different forms.
But it's
Yeah.
still not like I cannot relate to Hedwig.
Oh, of course.
You know, I cannot relate to Rocky Horror.
I know.
And I get it. Everybody
Have you
has
seen Short
different
Bus?
shit.
Oh, Short Bus is
No.
good, but
I think
but
that's-
that's
isn't
again
that just a
another.
porn?
To me, it was a porn, but
Yeah.
like it was high.
It's more than that.
Okay.
It's supposed to.
It's-
It's about feeling. About connecting with someone and feeling and being intimate and just not thinking
'Cause
about
it's
it.
real
and just
simulated sex.
exploring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real simulated.
No, it's
It's
real
real
sex.
sex.
because it's
It's
like
real
the
sex.
actors
I've
actually fucked each other.
I've seen the fucking porn videos,
The clips.
for sure.
No, it was a good
I've
movie.
checked
I
out.
liked it. It's just like I said, it was again, I wasn't able to relate to it just because of the
Characters, yeah, exactly.
But that's individually
Yeah.
because it's
Mhm.
like people probably related a lot to Queer as Folk because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Whatever. Same thing with Looking. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I can't relate to a lot of gay movies that are put out there because to me it's stereotypical.
Mhm.
Everyone
That's
there
not
has
how you act. That's not how we are.
not how we are, not necessarily that, but also it's like physically, not everybody looks like they do.
Emotionally, that's not how
Emotionally,
they
that's
think.
not how they do. They're not all. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way.
Like-
There's something about it.
One of the issues I had with Love Simon early in the beginning of the movie, in case anyone has seen it, is that he says, "I'm just like you," and I'm like, "No, you're not."
What does that mean, though?
He thinks I'm normal. I live in suburbia. I have a nice family. Like, not everyone comes from that,
From that,
background.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, what does that mean? I'm just
So
like
that's
you.
why from the beginning I was like, I can't relate to you, and
But some people can. That's-
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
fine.
First of all, the way his mom handled that shit, none of my
Well,
mom
I
wouldn't
liked
handle
it.
that like that. I'm just saying. That's
Of
why.
course, but it's like
well,
it's different. Like
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
cannot relate. To
like
that.
from the three movies, like Call Me by Your Name, Love Simon, and Alex Strangelove. And Call Me by Your Name is the dad's relationship with the son.
Yeah.
And Love Simon, it's the mom relationship with the son.
Yeah.
And then Alex Strangelove, it's him discovering who he
I,
is for himself.
I relate more to Call Me by Your Name because
fair.
my first interaction was so taboo. It
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened, and it was
Mhm.
just kind of like that. And I found it sexy as fuck. So because
And
that's
that's
how my
okay.
relationship was.
Mhm.
It was like tension and like sexual tension and stuff, but we know we couldn't do it, but we wanted to do it.
Yeah,
and stuff, like it was
yeah.
hot like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shit, when I first came out, I fucking thought I was gonna die. I had like a frog in my throat. I was nervous. I was like shaking, like when I went and
Did
told
you
my
do a
mom.
whole like, hey, I'm gonna sit you down and do this?
So
and
my
that?
parents had divorced or separated at this point, so it was a lot easier for me to do them separately.
Uh-huh.
Did you
And,
want to do them separately?
I
that
felt better doing it
Okay,
separately.
okay.
But I was on set doing a thing, and then I texted my mom. We got off early, and texted my mom. I was like, "Hey, mom, are you gonna be home tonight?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm
Did
like,
you have a plan to do it? You're like, today
no,
I'm gonna
it was
do
one
it.
of those things where I'm just like in my gut. It was just like I
You
have
need
to do it.
now.
I have to do
Okay.
it. There's no more
Oh
hiding.
my god,
nothing.
this is so exciting.
Yeah, and I texted her. I'm just like, I have something to tell you. And then she's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I'm just like, "I'll talk to you when I get home." So I get home and she's on the fucking phone. She's not even like ready to talk to me yet. So I'm sitting in the kitchen and just pacing back and forth.
Do you think she knew what you were trying to say?
I think so.
Okay.
But I forget who she was talking to, like a friend of hers or whatever.
Okay.
But finally she came in. She's like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And I was like, I have something to say. We've both been through so much together, and I wanted to be upfront about it. And I'm like, I'm gay. And then she just looked at me and she's like, I know. And that's when like it all just released. Like all of it just went, oh. And that's
you
when
cry?
I bawled my eyes out.
Oh my god.
And it was an intense feeling finally having that thing that was like weighing down on your chest, like just come
Burst.
off.
Oh,
And it was like the most exhilarating thing in the entire world.
yes.
I texted my dad because I needed
I'm
to.
like excited for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I texted my dad, and then he didn't respond to me for a few days, it was like a few hours.
Were you hurt or were you understanding?
It was understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, it was understanding. But he and I went out to lunch and we talked about it and stuff like that, so
Of
everything was
course.
great afterwards. And yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's so
Mine
interesting.
was so generic. Like we were watching a Christina type Oprah show. Like
You
know,
love Christina.
yeah.
I miss Christina.
For Latinos, Christina. For Americans, Oprah. And there was this gay artist that was on it. I was like, oh, he's such a faggot. I just like flirted it out, and my mom was like, whatever. And I was
That's
like,
dope,
do you
though.
still love me? And she was like, of course. And that was it. That was my coming out.
See, that is so fucking easy. You're lucky you had that.
Yes.
It's not that easy.
I am really. I'm
No.
lucky. I know people have it horrible, of
Yeah.
course.
Mm-hmm.
What was yours, George?
I had a list of like people. I did it stupidly. I wish I could go back and
Did
do
you
it
plan
differently.
it out?
No, I kind of did because it's like I told my sister first, and that was like I said, nervous, clammy as fuck. Like I don't know how she was gonna react. She was the easiest person to tell
Yes.
because like even 2 days after,
My
like,
sister was my first person.
she was the best support because she bought me. She went out. She bought me a book of it was the Trevor Project book of coming out stories from like celebrities and everybody.
Oh Jesus.
And in this book, she put a post-it note of writing how she was proud of me for doing it,
Oh.
and she was happy. And she said, "No matter what, I love you and I have your back." So I still have that book and note to this day. It's in my drawer. It's just no. That was the best thing
That is the
that she did that.
cutest thing
So
ever. Like I came out to my sister first of all, and I told her I was like, the first thing you say is like I'm bi, or when you're like trying to like come out with a lot of people, I was like I'm bi. And she's like, oh my god, Angelina Jolie makes my pussy wet. She said that was the
No.
first thing she said. I was like, oh my god, I fucking love. My sister's my best friend. I fucking love her. We're
Yeah.
we're 2 years apart, and like we tell each other
That's so
everything.
great.
no, that's why I liked them. And I was surprised she even did that, especially with that post-it note she wrote, because it's symbolic to me. Like I'm gonna
cute.
keep that forever.
It's the cutest
You
thing.
know, and
ever.
then I wish I would have told my aunt next because she was the one that was just like, I know already. She's like, I was waiting for you. Why are you so afraid to tell me? Like
Aw.
that's what I regret. I wish I would have told her next because when I told my mom, and this is where I can't relate to these gay movies, especially with Love, Simon, because they don't show an actual representation of.
We need a Latino version.
We need a Latino version. Here's why.
It's different.
That's
Honestly, it's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah.
My mom was utterly fucking disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I saw in her face the amount of disappointment, and that's what people don't represent.
Yeah.
It's just we.
Some people
And
don't
the same
take
thing
it
with my
well.
dad, because it's like I've seen my dad cry only on 2 occasions: when he told me he had cancer, and when I came out.
Wow.
And that sucked
Yeah.
because it's just I knew why because I
Yeah.
saw it with my mom, the
Yeah.
disappointment. they're disappointed because they have these such high expectations of us as Latino men. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You both know what I'm talking about.
We do.
They want us
He
to
knows
be.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the masculinity. It's like they want us
Toxic
to
masculinity.
toxic masculinity or whatever, but they want us to be like the the breadwinners. They want us to create the families and everything.
They don't
And
realize
once-
that we can be the breadwinners and
we
still be
can.
gay.
We can still do that. It's just
mean-
in their mindset because they're old school. They
Yeah,
can't get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when I saw that disappointment in her face, and I saw her again, my dad's. It's like it takes you down a notch
Yeah.
because it's just like you failed it.
Definitely.
To be who you are, you failed them, and that's
Yeah.
what I want in these movies. I want a Latino movie that shows this. They don't
The
necessarily
realism of
because they
it.
don't necessarily have to kick you out. That shit's
No,
been done before.
No.
But just to know that you have to watch
The
'cause
fact that they're disappointed in you is worse than if they kick
exactly
you out.
because I still had to live in my house for
With that
2
disappointment.
weeks.
Yes.
My mom still talked to me. My dad didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. So it's like living and walking around that with just not having that interaction. That does something to you.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like I want to
It
see
does.
that in a movie. I want to like show that.
But we need to understand that it does something to him too.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
And that's why I tell
everybody
people-
is.
And that's why I kind of tell I even tell like past boyfriends, even current boyfriend. It's like if I don't see my dad at my wedding, I'm not gonna be mad about it.
No.
I don't know. I for real. Look, as long as he respects me as a person, I'm not
So
gonna
is
be.
this still happening now? Like,
No, because it's just it's like a thing we don't talk about.
okay.
Like
Okay.
he sees Chris
Okay.
come over and
Yes, of
everything.
course.
Like he knows already.
Yeah.
So it's just like he says hi. Like I'm in my room with him. Like whatever. It's everything's probably the best it could be right now.
It's just easier to get
But-
over it.
but
He's
at
not
the
gonna
s-
engage anymore.
No. But at the same time, it's like if I get married and he chooses not to, I'm gonna respect it as long as he respects what I'm doing.
What you're
You know, so I'm
Of
gonna be
course.
cool about it.
Yeah.
Other people might be like, "Oh no, like that's sad, whatever. How
Yeah.
can your dad do that?" I don't blame him. That's just him. I have to respect how he is.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to it.
There's the realism of things.
It's the
like
realism.
some
It is.
people, some families are gonna take it good, some families
Yeah.
are gonna take it back. Just be prepared, know yourself, just be happy with your decision and like the way you're living your life. Be a good person, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm still not allowed to come out to my grandma in Bulgaria.
course.
Like I was asked not to.
Yeah, there's 100 people like
Because
you
it's
out
just
there.
the culture too.
It's the culture.
Yeah,
They come
it's-
from such a
it's-
European background, and it's so strict and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. It's not a
But,
normal
you
thing.
know, it's not always like sometimes it goes back to religion and
Yeah.
culture, but also I think
Respect too. Some
it-
people
it
don't
is
want to
respect.
disrespect their like. We think we're disrespecting, but we're not. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like I've grown up in the Bible Belt and all that, but I've always been the rebel. I never care what anybody says. Like I beat to whatever my own drummer, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that
Yeah.
shit is.
whatever the going is.
Yeah. So
the saying
like,
is
the saying is so I never cared about that, but I am well aware that there's people out there that have all these things that they have to go through before they can be themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like with my coming out story, I had 4 coming outs because I personally like special ed. Growing up, I just said it was no one's fucking business. It's no one's business to know who I'm sleeping with, who I'm dating. They're not dating the person I am, so it's my issue, my problem, and my business, and my
No
love
one's
life.
paying your bills.
So growing up, it's just like I isolated my family, even my friends, everybody, because I just didn't want them to know my business first and foremost. But when I first came out, I've known since I was gay since I was a kid. I've always known. I came out to my friends when I was in junior high. I was like 12, 13. I was like bi, gay, whatever. I like boys.
No, you're bi.
I know it's bi. I knew that I liked boys, but I just around junior high I started liking girls too, so I didn't know what I was. I didn't get along with my stepdad at the time, and he approached me saying, "You and I always fight. We need to get along for your mom's sake. Why don't you ever let me in?" And I thought that was a perfect opportunity to just test the water. So I'm like, fine, I'm gay. Just it meant nothing to me because I expected a reaction, to so to speak, because he's a Mexican machismo guy. And,
You're gay.
And to my surprise, he said, because he was trying to build a relationship with me, he ignored it and he says, okay. He's like, well, have you kissed a boy? Have you been with a boy? Do you know how to protect yourself? Like, because I didn't have my dad. My parents divorced, so he was trying to be the dad kind of thing. Where he's like, have that talk. Like, do you know how to protect yourself? Do you know what you're doing? Do you need counseling or anything? If you need any other to talk to, I'm here for you. So I bettered my relationship with him by coming out. And so he would even have the jokes with me where, like, we'll go to Costco and he's like, do you think he's cute? Do you think he's cute? Do you think he's cute? And I was like, stop embarrassing me.
See, that's a lot of things that I think a lot of people would wish they would have. Like, I can't even... If I were to hear my dad say that, I would get so weirded out.
Yeah.
I can't see that from him.
No,
My mom.
I get it.
And he even asked the weird questions. He's like, are you the girl or the boy in the relationship? And I was like, I don't feel comfortable talking about this. But he was just like, but I guess it's his way of saying, how do I approach the situation? How can I help him if I don't know without you?
No, I think that's great because that's just very supportive in itself.
And so, then like in college, my best friend was living with me. She was staying in my room, and then that's when I had my first boyfriend. So my parents thought I was dating her, and that my boyfriend was my friend who just casually stayed around once in a while. And she told me, she's like, Eddie, does your family not know you're gay? I was like, no, why? Oh, I was like, are they... No, but she's just stupid like one. I'm not kidding, Marie. I love you. She just said, "Oh, well, your mom asked me where you were, and I said you were with your boyfriend." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah. Are they stupid or something? Do they not know you're gay? Because it's kind of obvious." I was like, "Because I'm very alternative, so everyone thinks that's just the alternative side of me.
It's just the makeup.
You know, it's just the makeup and glitter, the whole thing is." The puteria. But like I said no, they don't know. And she's like, oh well, I told you was your boyfriend, that Alex was your boyfriend, and I told your sister. And it kind of upset me because it took away my moment to talk to like, if I choose to have that talk with them, I didn't get to. So it was decided for me. And so when I went home, I had to have that one-on-one talk with them, already knowing what the talk was about. Right. And with my sister, she was kind of like, she was super excited. As soon as I told Nancy, I was like, hey Nancy, so I heard about you. She's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm so happy for you. And she opened arms, hugged me. She jumped up and down, screaming. She was crying and says, I love you. I love you so much. I don't want to stop telling you how much I love you, how much I care about you. Like, I'm so happy that you're my little brother. She embraced it more than I did, to be honest.
And sisters are the best.
She wanted me to know that I am loved no matter what, unconditionally. And I think that's awesome with you guys, with your sisters too. And I love that I relate to you guys. And even your relationship with your mom, you know what I mean? Because
even my dad right now, he texts me and he's like, how are you and your boyfriend doing? Like, how is Kyle? Like, what's going on? Blah, 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 this, blah. And I'm just like, whoa, that's awesome.
How did that make you feel?
Really great. Really great. Like, I never expected it.
It doesn't feel weird or anything?
No, just because I was always afraid.
I think it's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling.
It's a great feeling, yeah.
That's
like, then when I spoke to my mom,
I know. Like
with my mom, she had the silent treatment.
I think maybe you make it more weird.
And not necessarily, just because knowing how my dad is.
You don't add to the weirdness. Like, maybe he could be like, oh, how's Chris doing? And you'll be like...
He never asked, though. He never asked. Okay. And the only person that asks is my mom. You know, just to you know, like, see how I am or whatever. Like, she asks, but he never does. Like, never has he asked about my dating life or whatever since I came out. This has been 7 years now, so it's like still hasn't. And it's just like, I would feel weird if he did, because I wouldn't know how to react to it.
You feel like there's a motive behind it?
No, it's just him.
Just him.
Does it hurt your feelings that he doesn't ask?
In the beginning, it did.
Okay.
But now after this time, like I said, like if I decided to get married and he wouldn't come, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Do you really think he wouldn't come?
I don't think so.
I think he would.
I think he would too.
I think he would come.
I don't know. It's just like, because then, like, I can't invite his part of the family, because his part of the family does not know. My mom's side, they do, and even that was unspoken word. Like, it's just, you know, under the table
you're
type
more
shit.
Mexican than I am.
Or
maybe we don't give our families enough credit, because I feel the same way about my family. Like, I don't think they would do this and that. But when they knew that me and Alan were a real thing, and it was like a thing that stayed for years, like, they knew to respect it. You know what I mean? So it was just like, okay, Beto's gay, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then they were like, oh, 7 years, okay, this is a relationship. So they respected it a little more.
I think so, because only on my mom's side of family did I try shit like that. Like, I brought Chris over to a family event. It was like a boxing fight, I forgot who. And then I brought him over for Thanksgiving, and it was fine. No one said shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I didn't even say he was my boyfriend, nothing. It was just fine. My dad's side, I don't think I can do that just because the old school factor.
But they would, do you think they would do something about it, or they would just think it to themselves?
My uncles would probably stay quiet and talk shit after. That's mostly
Maybe
their
they would
motive.
like throw some shade.
They would,
Isn't that normal?
not in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably throw. If I were to go and say, here's my novio.
Yeah.
Some shit would go down. But
Yeah.
if I were to like bring him over and be like, oh, this is blah blah blah,
Uh-huh.
they would kind of talk after, or they would even ask my
Yeah,
dad after.
yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
I don't want to even deal with it because I just want to like
okay. I
maybe that's
understand.
me being lazy. I don't wanna
my family's the same way as yours, but I would think it's better to rip the band-aid off and say
Mhm.
this is my novio and have them make fun of you for a little bit and then like
Novio's boyfriend.
I don't think they would make fun of me just because of how old school they are. They
not
wouldn't
make fun of you. Maybe that's not the
But that's the
You
thing.
know
I
what?
feel like they would think like I have a feeling they would think I'm less of a man because of it.
No.
Really?
I think so.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because of the
No,
way
no,
they're
no.
old
Okay.
school, which I'm
He knows them
not.
better. He knows them better, so maybe
Yes.
we don't know. But
Yes. No.
I get it.
My perspective is how you approach it.
Mhm.
How you, if you treat it as a mockery, they will too.
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
treat
the
it as
the
something,
more secretive you are.
the
Yeah.
more if you treat it as something serious and like everything else, like it's no
Mhm.
big deal, I think they'll slowly respect it more.
Here's where I combat that, because there's lesbos on my dad's side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like my cousin Natalie's a lesbo, and then
Hi, Natalie.
Hi,
his
Natalie.
cousin, my
Hola.
dad's cousin is she's a big ass bull dyke. Like this bit, like
Hey.
she drives a motorcycle and everything. Like, and
Yes.
it's like
Is she in
it's like a
Pride?
family
We
secret
go
where they're
Pride
like
Parade.
she's never been married, etc. No, this
Yeah, we could
that's
just.
She's butch.
That's a dyke. Like, but
I
the
love my
thing
dad.
is, we had this conversation with my dad one time, where, cause we had this conversation like, where does my gay side come from, my mom's side or my dad's side? And she argued with him. She's like, what about Natalie? What about your cousin? Blah 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 blah. And he's like, oh, but they're girls, whatever. There's a stigma where it's kind of like semi okay for the girls, but if it's a guy, it's not okay.
Well,
Huh.
That's a more machismo thing to do,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And that's where their thing was. Because on my mom's side, she had a gay cousin. My cousin's a lesbo. There's another gay person on my mom's side, but
There's
that's... I digress.
There's like
Yeah,
no gay
there's a whole-
people in my family. There's
Yeah.
like
You're
no
a trendsetter.
one.
I digress.
but you know what?
You know what?
This is where I think where it comes from because most girls who are more on lesbian, they become more masculine. So I think it's more acceptable as opposed to where they think gay boys are gonna be more feminine, so they don't know how to react to that. They think it's
And that's what... And
it's
that's the
degrading.
one thing
It's degrading. It is degrading.
Yeah, but that's the one thing I told my dad and mom when I first came out, is like, nothing about me has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm still the same or whatever.
I still listen to heavy metal.
So no, exactly. And they see
Metallica.
they walk into my room all the time. They see the horror posters and everything. Like nothing's
Yeah.
changed. And I think that's where they're starting to have that grown. Even after 7 years, it's like they're okay with it now because it's just like I'm not the type of person to be, flamboyant. It's just that's just my character though.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes from. It took them off guard because they didn't expect you. Because you like
They went
the
to-
heavy music,
yeah.
you like the horror movies. That's something masculine men, boys like, not.
And I feel like
gay
a lot of
boys.
people go off stereotypes. I think
And they
that's
do.
Yeah.
And if you look at even like Spanish TV, look at the gay boys there. They're very flamboyant.
Mhm.
They have the squeaky voice. They're whatever stereotype that is out there, and you don't fit that mold. And when they see that, they're like, I think that's where the disappointment comes. They're like, where's the science? Where I didn't see this coming, and
Yeah.
it was hard to swallow because they thought. And this is where my story comes with your story. Is that my mom? It took her a hard time to become comfortable with it because she thought everything I was a lie. She
Exactly.
says, oh, but you liked going to your concerts and wearing your makeup and you like dressing up. I thought that was just the lifestyle of you liking the music and the movies, not that because you're gay. And I said, no, it is because of that. It's not because I'm gay. That's just something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my mom was hard to understand because she says, I thought we were close enough that you could talk, that you're comfortable talking to me about this. Same thing with my sisters. They said, why don't you ever say anything? And I think it's harder to talk to people that we care about and love because you don't know how they're going to react. What if you don't know if they are against it or not. And most likely we want to think they are, that they are going to be accepting and loving, but unfortunately that's not everybody's story. And like my mom gave me that silent treatment and I had to reassure her, I'm still me. It's still me here. I still like the things I like. Nothing's going to change. And it took her weeks, if not months, to understand. She was like, wow, you are the same person. I'm like, nothing has to do with that. I'm still secretive about who I date and who I bring around. It's just, I do what I do because I like that lifestyle of the heavy music.
I'm not me because I'm gay.
Yeah. I don't fit in that stereotype because I grew up with theater and choir and all that because I love that lifestyle.
There's so many different types of gays.
Exactly. And I know people who don't know how. They ask me, what is to be gay? How do I know I'm gay? I don't relate to gay. Gay LA is like flamboyancy, muscles, twinks.
That's WeHo, I would say.
That's WeHo. And that's what everyone thinks. But even if you were to go to, like, let's say Silver Lake area where you get the bears and leathers, they say, we're not West Hollywood, we're West Hollywood. But they're the opposite end of the spectrum. On the same. They're the same, just on the opposite
And I think
end.
that's also the point of Pride in general. It's like the spectrum goes from butch all the way to practically feminine drag, all that. So it's like there's so many people in between. And like I said, I think the point we should make in this episode is just like Pride is for everybody. Inclusive. Like L, the G, the B, the T, the Q, the whatever, how many letters they got in there now. So
Trannies.
Trannies, I know.
Trans,
but
we love trans.
But everybody fits.
I think the whole issue is acceptance.
Exactly, acceptance for everybody. It doesn't matter.
And like,
you have to.
Like, I've had family who are fully supportive of me, and I have family who are not. My dad doesn't. I don't have a relationship with my dad. He kicked me out because he found out I was gay. Same thing with my stepmom. They called me awful names. So I know what it's like not to have that brother and dad not to talk to you, cut you out. They're not family. Treat you like dirt. I've been there. I've been with the family who loves and supports you. So I know both ends from it. And ultimately, what matters most is you have to find acceptance with yourself, and you do have to love yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Know who you are. And I think that, especially for the younger generation who are questioning things and trying to figure things out, because especially now with everything so out in the open, and I know some people say, I don't want to come out because I see the gay culture. It's promiscuous, it's expectations, it's superficial, and some people don't want to relate to that. And I think that was my issue growing up. I don't belong in that mold, so I don't want to relate to that. Because if I say I'm gay, I'm automatically in that category when I'm not there. But I think nowadays we have so many gays out there. We have we're the horror gay boys here, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? There's a family for everybody.
There is.
We're the best group.
We are. And the community is awesome. Like, look at Instagram, look at our followers, look at Facebook and the groups. Everyone's so loving and supportive, and I love that we love and share the same things and that we support the same things. And I love going to events and meeting everybody, like conventions, screenings, whatever like events we're planning on hosting. But the point is that I love you guys. I love you. You guys are my family.
I think Eddie got tequila too.
So cheers. No, we need to properly cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers to my brothers
Cheers,
here.
Bye.
To being gay and celebrated.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.